What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Just like Billy Madison, Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno made every single person in attendance at the City Club of Cleveland stupider by having to listen to his MAGA talking points.
Suggesting that President Trump should be awarded a Nobel Peace Prize.
He should. 100%. 100%.
Are you pleased with? Are you pleased with his?
This interview turned town hall became uncharacteristically heated as the crowd jeered and booed Moreno's horrible answers on Medicare, inflation, and the tariffs.
What's your major malfunction?
Tariffs that are sinking small businesses like this one, who are coming out of the woodwork to call out Trump's lies on national television. Be sure to subscribe to Really American, and let's get into it.
Yeah, so first we got to agree on what the goal is, and the goal is to have real wages that grow. So the goal is to have your wages higher than inflation. That's the entirety of the program, right? So if inflation runs in the twos, you want to have wage growth way above that. Right now we're accomplishing that. Wage growth is higher. Again, you can cough and you can be mad and you can act childish, but at the end of the day, that's just a fact. That's just a fact. Well, again, don't take my word for it. Look it up. Look it up. And not on TikTok. It's real wages are growing. That is a absolutely true statement. Inflation's lower today than it was 4 years ago. That's just a fact. And in terms of tariffs, what tariffs are doing, Henry, is doing what we needed to do a long time ago, which is to make sure that we incentivize businesses to grow here in the United States, to have those good, high-paying jobs.
You have become one of his most loyal supporters in the U.S. Senate. He endorsed your Senate campaign. But I'm curious, what is one issue that you would handle or approach differently than the president has, and how?
Well, he's doing it in the second term. I think in the first term, there was some hires that were problematic. There were some people that I wouldn't have brought along. He's changing that quite a bit. That's the big one.
Is there anything about his temperament or his approach in the second term that you look at and are like, maybe that's not the?
I think he's doing a great job in the second term. Look.
Come on, let him answer.
Look. So, hey, look, I'll give you an easy contrast. When did the war in Ukraine start? When did the war in Ukraine start? All right, so just facts are annoying things.
I mean, that's coincidental. It started during.
Is it coincidental?
Well, I mean,
how's that coincidental? Because they took Crimea under Obama.
Sure.
What it has to do with is the projection of American strength. Look what you just saw in the White House. Just again, good facts. Yeah.
We're going to have time for your question. I mean, you've endorsed legislation suggesting that President Trump should be awarded a Nobel Peace Prize.
He should. 100%. 100%.
Are you pleased with? Are you pleased with his? I would like to. I have time for like 2 more questions, so I would like to get them in before we turn it over to you.
What's your major malfunction, man? Nobel Peace Prize.
I would like to know.
There's people who have such deep, irrational hatred towards President Trump that literally words can't penetrate their brains because the derangement of hatred is so high. But that's just what I'm laying out to you is just facts. These wars and conflicts did end in the last 7 months. You may not like that it did, but that's actually the truth of what happened. And yes, he should and probably will end up getting the Nobel Peace Prize.
It is especially enraging to watch this robot regurgitate Trump's talking points over and over again while saying, it's a fact, look it up, it's a fact.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
Like, genuinely, what the fuck is this guy even talking about? Like, okay, let's look it up. Here's one thing that he said. He's acting like tariffs are in place in order to raise real wages as opposed to inflation. Well, real wages was increased by 0.1% from June to July. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, no TikTok. But also, according to BLS, the Consumer Price Index rose 0.2% over the same period. Now, I'm not great at math, but I'm pretty sure I'm better than Moreno because it seems like wages are not currently beating inflation. Then they took questions from the audience, and it is just hilarious how this guy is getting berated publicly because all he's doing is regurgitating Trump's tweets.
What's the truth about the senator? What's the truth about the 2020 election? Was it stolen, Senator? And what's the truth about January 6th, Senator? Were they patriots or felons?
Well, look, the 2020 election is pretty straightforward, that the suppression of information around the Hunter Biden laptop story clearly altered the election. It's a fact. Again, you can. These are just provable facts. So that's again, you may not like the answer, but you ask the answer I just gave you. It's 100% true. The Hunter Biden laptop story was actually worse. It's much worse than what people were told. Much worse. And that story was supposedly Russian misinformation, which it was clearly not. And did that alter the election? Absolutely it did. Well, obviously, Joe Biden was president for 4 years. I get the question, was Joe Biden the legitimate president of the United States for 4 years? He was legitimately the worst president of the United States for 4 years.
So, Senator, my question to you is this. What would you say to Donald Trump about his recent statements in terms of removing any historical data information pertaining to slavery? Fact, we're talking about facts. Slavery was, and again, still is, negative.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with the recent statements that you're discussing. You said it just happened. I have no idea. I've not read that. Again, the past 48 hours, I've not read that. I will remind the audience that it was radical Republicans that actually ended slavery in this country against the opposition of Democrats.
Go ahead, Skip.
It was our party that did it. Good old
Bernie,
Abe Lincoln.
You know, it's a fact that Trump is the worst president we've ever had. It's a fact that the big, beautiful bill is going to put us even more in the hole. It's also a fact that this little event went so poorly that the Ohio GOP chair is urging Republican candidates to boycott City Club after this event. I guess they realize that the MAGA talking points crumble with just the slightest amount of pushback. You know, it's also a fact that the tariffs are sinking American companies. You can sit here and pretend like they're targeted specifically to bring back manufacturing jobs to the United States, but that's just not true. Here's yet another business owner, this time from Minnesota, on CNN, sharing her story about how these tariffs are sinking her American-owned company. And before you ask or leave a comment, I double-checked. This woman appears to be liberal. She supports an organization that puts progressives in office and is fighting for healthcare for all. So this seems to be an example of how you can vote blue as much as you want and still be the victim of the Republicans' horrible policy.
You started your business during a rough economic period. What has the impact of tariffs been in comparison to 15 years ago?
Well, first of all, Phil, I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my story. The impact of these tariffs have hit me in every single aspect of my business. Not only in the oils and the vinegars that I import from all over the world, but down to my containers, down to the bottles that I use, down to the lids for my bottles, down to the shrink wrap for my bottles. All aspects of my business have been impacted by these tariffs, and it's been pretty substantial.
How do you, I guess, what has your response been as a business owner? Do you raise prices? Are you cutting other expenses? This is an incredibly difficult position to be put in.
It has been, and we've done a little bit of both. We just recently took a price increase based on the finalization of the EU tariffs at 15%. But the thing I also have is I import products from Morocco, Egypt, Lebanon, Tunisia, all over, and the fluctuating tariff has been extremely difficult to navigate around. We have decided as of the 1st of August to put the tariff charge, the 15% for the EU tariffs, onto our customers. And it's listed as a line item now on their receipts. And again, with the expenses of every aspect of things that we're doing going up, it has, made us late on our rent. It has made us late paying our employee. As a result, I've also gotten a second job. So as much as I can do to cut expenses, I too am an American consumer and am feeling the pinch in my everyday life just as well as in my business.
Just quickly before I let you go, because I really appreciate your time here, if you could say one thing to policymakers about tariff, what would it be in this moment?
It's a lie to believe that anyone else but the American consumer is paying for these tariffs. And what I'm afraid of is we are going to drastically change the Main Street businesses that make our communities. And I'm afraid over time what's going to happen. And it's been extremely difficult to continue this. But what I'm afraid of is to watch all the doors of other businesses that next door to us is a coffee shop. Are they going to have to close as a result of the Brazil tariffs? There isn't an aspect, there isn't an industry, there isn't a segment of consumerism that has not been impacted by these tariffs. And I'm afraid of what the landscape will look like when this is all said and done.
It is genuinely heartbreaking to know that there are thousands of Americans just like her who are struggling to keep their businesses afloat because half of the country is following a cult leader off of a cliff. These are the facts that MAGA Republicans like Bernie Moreno ignore and try to hide underneath statistical wordplay and smug attitudes. So if you guys want to stay informed on what these people don't want you to know, then be sure to subscribe to Really American. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.